Day 27, baby. Here we go, man. Yesterday, day 26. That's a powerful one. I told you. I told you it was gonna be a punch in the face. I told you it was going to be. But before we start on day 27, you know the drill. Hype music, focus music. I love seeing the 6-month vision boards. I love it. I love seeing the faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. I love seeing the macro goals that you guys are going to be accomplishing. I love seeing the intention. I love seeing how specific you are with them. I love it. It shows me that you have declared and you've put your flag in the ground and said, this is my new me. This is the new me. You can't break me because you ain't me. You haven't been through what I've been through. You haven't seen what I've seen. You haven't felt what I have felt. You haven't had to deal with this. You haven't almost wanted to take your life and tried to take your life. You haven't lost everything and started to rebuild. You haven't lost everything and are rebuilding. You don't know me. You don't know my story. So you can't judge me and you can't put a box around me because you ain't me. You are declaring just like I declared. I will no longer live in the shadow, or I will no longer live in the stigma of what I am. When I was a divorced dad, when I was a single dad, and by golly, I'm the best damn bonus dad out there. 100% I am. Day 27 is about single dad triggers. Now let's talk about some of these single dad triggers, shall we? School had just gotten out, and it was my summer with my children, and I was going to the meeting point. We were going to go pick them up. But on Sunday, so it was on a Friday, but that Sunday, my son was going to, in our church, receive a priesthood called the Aaronic priesthood. So I had rented in a hotel in where we were at, where we were going to go spend time Saturday having fun and walking around and just exploring and being out in nature. What had happened, though, is it turned from something that was going to be awesome and amazing to me getting the cops called on me and them coming and trying to play the middleman. And so instead of making a scene bigger and already seeing the disappointment on my children's face, my son just wanted to go back and go quote unquote fishing. Okay. So he went back and me and the 3 other kids, right? Because remember, there were a lot of times when I just had 3 at a time. We went and had fun and explored. And then that Sunday we went and did the events at church. And then I took all 4 of them back home with me for the summer. And that was one of many things that had happened to me during that time of the custody hearings. That was one of multiple things that shook me as a human being, regardless of being a father. That was one of many that shook me as being a man, somebody that felt like I was shackled and couldn't really stand up for my children. That was a trigger. And the problem with that trigger is that trigger went for multiple things. When events would happen or things would happen, I would start to get this sense inside in this pit in my stomach like, oh man, the cop's going to be called again or something going to happen. It happened again, right? I was getting them from where their mom at the time was staying, and I went to go pick them up, and it was my turn. Hey, I'm here to get them. And individuals had come out and got into my face. And I was like, no, I'm not going to fight you because I know what you're doing. You're trying to aggravate me, intentionally aggravate me to strike you so you could file that against me. That was another trigger. So anytime contention would happen, it would click in my brain. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'd start to panic and I'd start to feel it billow up in my stomach and up in my chest. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It crippled me. It crippled me big time as a dad, and more importantly, as a man. I felt like I just had to always keep peace, because if I kept the peace, then I didn't have to worry about all these triggers. Then I would worry about, feeling like I was going to somehow lose them. Even when I had full custody, those triggers would still jump up. I could still feel it. I could still feel that anxiety. I could still feel the energy shift when I knew I had to go drop my kids off at a meeting point until I picked them up. And even after I picked them up, I knew what would happen. I knew when I picked them up, we'd be all jubilicious and sing, some would cry. We would drive home, and then it would be a rough week, a really, really rough week. Not listening, disobedient, didn't care, back talking, using profanity against me, being called all kinds of names. I knew it was going to be a week, but I had to remember this was them trying to process what they were going through. So I started to really dig deep. So as a divorce dad, when triggers came up, it was easy. I could call it by name, but how do you call it by name when you're dealing and trying to co-parent? How are you trying to, what's going on. You can see it. So how do you identify those triggers and what do you call them? What do you do? And not just go crazy. Here is what I did. I remember writing down goals for myself. I remember writing down goals that when certain events would happen or appear like they're going to happen, I would pause for a second. I would take a deep breath and I would remember, I don't answer to them anymore. I don't answer to that side of the family. I don't answer to any one of them. You don't dictate how I feel. You don't get to control what I do with my children and the fun and the experiences that I am going to create, the memories that we are creating. You don't get to dictate that anymore because I do not have to answer to you. So when I started to feel these trigger points, I would then remind myself, I don't answer to them. I do not answer to them. Now, regardless of the situation, right? You may have lost custody. You may only see your kids once a month. You may only see them during the summertime. You might have to have supervised visitation. But here's the thing. When you start to declare in your head, you no longer control how I feel. I understand the trigger points. I understand when you say this, right? When you do this, when your actions are this against me, I do not have to take crap from you anymore. I don't answer to you. I don't live my life for you. I don't owe you crap. When you start to identify the triggers and then you start to put the names where they belong, selfishness, greed, pride, envy, ugliness, evilness, backbiting, coveting, stabbing, horrible. When you get to start to put those names and say, that's what that is, that action is this, that action no longer gets to dictate how I feel. No more. When you can really narrow in and be that clear and that crystal. Now, a word of a caution, ever openly backtalk, openly discredit, openly badmouth, openly degrade, openly spill venom, openly vomit, openly say anything negative, cuss words, swear words, anything that would be malicious, anything that would be hurtful, nothing, never, ever, ever, ever say anything about your children's mother, ever. I don't care how mad you are. I don't care the circumstances. I do not care. Do not care. Those children, your children, never, ever, ever should hear anything uttered from your mouth negatively about their mother. Ever. Period. End of story. And let me tell you, I had plenty of opportunities that I could have done that. I had plenty of reasons I could have justified it. I could have been in the right 100%. But I made a declaration that I would never, ever, ever make my children think negatively about their mother because I was the one who instrumented that to them. Never would that happen. As they got older, they would ask questions and then they could come up with their own answers. You want to break the trust, you want to break the hurt, you want to break the heart of your children, you bag on their mother and watch what happens. You will lose trust. You will lose their respect because you are the dad. You're the Prince Charming and you're the superhero. Prince Charming and superhero does not speak ill. They only find ways to make it better. Identify your triggers, call them by their name, and tell it you no longer have space because I no longer have to answer to you anymore. Get your ass behind me. This is a new man. This is somebody different that you're dealing with. Believe me, men, I know it's tough, but you can do it. You've been doing it now for 27 days. You're killing it. You are killing it. Your children see it, your friends see it, your family see it, everybody sees it. Keep growing, keep inspiring. I love you, boys.